They were like, hey, do you want to feel your daughter's head? And I was like, you can do that? And then they were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those who don't know me, I am Ashley, and in my last video I did a labor and delivery vlog. A lot of footage was missing, so I decided to do a quick story time on what actually happened in the hospital. But before I get started, please make sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions. But with that being said, let's hop into it. If you haven't watched the last video, please go check it out before you watch this one. So we got to the hospital around midnight. They were going to send me home until I told them that my OBGYN doctor wanted me to stay. I was already booked to have a room the following day, really the same day, just 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We got there at midnight. So they decided to keep us. I got admitted around 1 a.m. During that time frame, I started throwing up. I threw up my whole pregnancy, so I'm throwing up in the hospital bed. I'm 4 centimeters dilated at this point, and I'm just waiting to get an epidural. When he does it and inserts everything, the medicine only shoots down my left leg, so I still have full feeling in my right leg and everywhere else in my body. So that had me worried that I was going to feel the full labor. With my previous pregnancies, my first one I had an epidural, didn't feel anything, shot down both legs just fine. Second pregnancy, got to the hospital too late and did not have any medicine. Once that happened, I knew I wanted an epidural this time. After I got the epidural, they put my legs on the bed, and then immediately the nurse was like, your water's breaking. So it's probably about 1:30 at this point. My water broke, and that's never happened before. But yeah, so got the peanut ball, had to get flipped over every 15 minutes. I was still able to feel my right leg. It took forever for that to work. By the time it hit around 10 o'clock in the morning, I was able to start to feel the medicine. However, I was only 5 centimeters dilated at 10 o'clock in the morning, so I was worried that I wouldn't dilate fast enough and I would have to get a C-section. So I started panicking. The nurses and my husband had to calm me down. It did work. Shortly after that, the nurses came in to check me again. When they looked, they saw a bubble pocket. So when my water broke, it didn't actually break all the way. It was a leak somewhere, but it was a big leak, so all of the water didn't break. They started massaging my pelvis, and then the rest of my water just broke immediately. Once that happened, I started feeling excruciating pain in my pelvic area. I couldn't think. I just started yelling. And then they called the anesthesiologist back in to insert more medicine into my back. I asked them if, this is going to numb the rest of the areas, or does it just re-numb the same areas, because it wasn't a new needle. It was more like a new IV bag, basically. They said it's just going to numb the same areas, so that didn't help me. Long story short, I'm screaming, and right after my water broke, I started dilating like crazy. The doctor came in, and I was able to get her out in 5 pushes, is what my husband said. It was really, really fast. Got her out in about 5 pushes, but during that process, I did tear. It was a 2nd-degree tear, so I just saw her getting the needle ready and everything, but thank goodness I did not feel myself tear. This is actually the 2nd time I tore in the same place. It's a perineal 2nd-degree tear. That happened in my first pregnancy as well. With that tear, the first pregnancy, I was given Vicodin to help deal with the pain. It was a 4th-degree tear. With the 2nd degree, they felt it was only necessary to give me ibuprofen, which, I mean, it didn't do anything. So I spent the past 2 weeks in severe pain, and my husband's been helping me out. During the process of pushing, they asked me, like the second push in, they were like, hey, do you want to feel your daughter's head? And I was like, you can do that? And then they were like, yeah. And I was like, yeah. So then they took my hand and put it on her head, and it was just super slimy, but like it was like hanging out, and like I didn't know, and I was just like, she's like hanging out, and I'm talking to my husband, we're like laughing. I'm like, she's literally just like hanging out of me right now. And right after that, she just kind of slipped out, fell out. I don't know. Like, it just happened really, really fast. And that's pretty much it. They laid her right on my chest, and it was the best feeling ever. The third best feeling ever, because I felt that with my other two daughters as well. That is it for now. I have to get back to my daughter. I will be doing a video on what I look like before and after postpartum, and I'm also going to do 24 hours with a newborn video. So stay tuned, and I will see you next time.